This is Influence. I'm Michelle Martin, sitting across Marcus Chu. We're going to get to know the Chief Operating Officer of ERA Realty Network. He first joined the leading real estate agency, which has become a household name here in Singapore, back in 1996. As a salesperson, he went on to contribute to the company's growth through recruitment and nurturing individuals after he discovered a passion for training. With over 2 decades of experience in the real estate industry, Marcus firmly believes that the right tools and the training programs are essential for people to discover and achieve their fullest potential. And he's done some incredible work creating some tools himself when it comes to bringing out the most in people, which I have witnessed. So, Marcus, it's a great pleasure to see you again. Thanks for being here on Influence.
It's my pleasure, Michelle.
So you've been in the real estate industry for years, since 1996. Can you describe your journey up the corporate ladder? I'm sure many people want to know the secret sauce of your success.
Well, prior to becoming a real estate agent, I was also a property buyer. And I was hunting for property together with my spouse. And we find that it's a very important role that a real estate agent does. In fact, I recall buying my first property with the help of agents.
ERA?
Yes, ERA.
Oh, okay.
Yes, back then ERA. And also other agencies agent, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, it is always the service of the agents that provided for people at their milestones. So when you just got married, you need to buy you need to buy a property. And as you go along, you have children, you probably want to upgrade your property. Sure. And eventually you go into investment, you need to buy another property. So the agents play an important role. And knowing that, I thought, why don't I venture into real estates? So that's in 1996.
In sales. But, from sales, actually selling to COO is quite a leap. So, what were some of the milestones there, do you think? Turning points for you?
It's a long journey, yes. I have no idea that this is what I'm going to do after 20 years. Like any other salesperson, my desire was to be the best agent. Yeah. When I started off as new. And back then, going into company management, no, it's not in my mind. In fact, what's in my mind is to be the best I can be as a salesperson.
Okay, so it looks like the search for excellence sort of propelled you to where you are now, and becoming COO was never sort of part of the big plan for yourself.
No, it was never originally planned that I would be a COO. Actually, more important is anyone who embark into the real estate career has to have an ambition, all right, and have to have very good attitude. Mm-hmm. And with the ambition and attitude, then you can have action. So my ambition was to be the top agent.
Did you fulfill that?
Oh, yes, I did.
You did?
I did. In Singapore and also ERA International. Of course, when I started off as a real estate agent, the companies do provide many trainings. Okay. And I have attended all the trainings that is required for the startup.
Okay. That's really interesting. Everybody needs to sell, in life. So from your own experience in real estate and from attending all those early conferences, and I know you've actually developed conferences of your own, training of your own when it comes to self-development. What would you say is most important for somebody who wants to master the art of selling?
I just mentioned about the 3 A's, which is ambition and attitude and action. I think it's very important that the individual who took the risk to embark into self-employed work has to have that very strong belief and that awareness and the conviction that he or she can do it. All right? With that belief, then it will bring you faith. And that faith is never have doubt in yourself after you have made that decisions. All right? So with that belief and that faith, things will work out by itself.
How does Marcus help set a work culture that makes everyone want to come to work? We figure that out after a check on the road. Stay with us. How important is work culture? How have you cultivated a certain type of work culture within ERA?
Oh, it's very important to cultivate work culture, especially in a big company. In ERA, we cultivate something that is called love culture. Well, to us, it is important for the management and also everybody's to understand that we have a part to play in this love culture. So we call it ERA Love. So indeed, we believe that the challenge is to get people to opt in into our vision of spreading love. Now, one of the ways about spreading love is, besides giving initiatives such as the renewals program, the new startup, this grant, and also we are talking about giving our agents and sharing with them our experience and our knowledge. So that is selfless giving. Well, if you look at it, real estate salespersons are actually entrepreneur. They are self-employed.
Yeah.
So they are a realtorpreneur. So as a realtorpreneur, you are on your own. Supposed to be on your own, but you don't have to be in big organizations like ERA, because we promote a sharing culture where indeed we want our agent to realize that they are not alone and they are in a big family of like-minded entrepreneurs.
I really wanted to sit across you because I came across one of your agents and she shared with me how at one of the training sessions that you actually developed, she came to realize something about herself that completely changed her trajectory, changed the way she looked at herself, changed the way she approached work. And I thought, wow, that's really fabulous. And you rarely hear about a boss that designs a training program that does so. You have a huge agent network. How do you find time to mentor and groom the people that you work with?
I believe that the important is not so much about leadership skill. I think the important is about focusing on the people. So in order for us to thrive, I think important is as long as we take care of the people, and we have empathy on them, and we practice humanity, of course, with a lot of EQ, we should be able to groom any individual to become a leader in the industry.
Yeah. And you're passionate about these training programs, right? That you carry out more than once a year, which reaches out to agents sort of as a whole, these sort of mass trainings. Tell us about developing these.
There are soft skill and also hard skill. Of course, what I'm more interested on is the soft skill, which is very much touching on the heart of the individual. So when our intention is very clear. When we want to, when we design such a program, we want our agents to realize that whoever they are, they have their own calling and their own potential, and that is unique, and that is different from others. And they do not have to follow another personal best, but they just have to be a better person than themselves. So it all started with our intention to help individual to realize their highest potential. And not just in sales. I'm talking about leadership. And not just in work, but leadership as a person in your life.
Self-leadership.
That's right.
Just tremendous. When it comes to growing your teams, can you share with us some insights, some strategies that maybe other leaders can take something from?
Firstly, we have to have the people that is your pillar, and these are the people that are like your grassroots leaders. So grassroots leaders are people that is very close to you, and they believe in your same vision. And we talk about ERA Love. We talk about the Givers Movement in ERA, where we selflessly give our knowledge and our experience to our downlines. So the Givers Movement actually bond us together closer, because we believe that the more we give, the more we receive. So what we need to do is to cultivate this attitude and this culture among the givers. And it have attracted, in fact, a very good numbers of them that have joined the movement. So be it our trainer, be it our task force and our facilitator, we are able to come in with the same alignment that we are there to help individual.
So coming back to you, since this is Influence and we're getting to know Marcus Chu, Chief Operating Officer of ERA Realty Network. Marcus, you're no stranger to starting from scratch. You left ERA in November 2000 to join two other companies. You returned to ERA again in 2005, so you had to pretty much start from scratch at 2005 again. And you've said that starting from zero is not necessarily a bad thing. So based on your own experience, what are some perks of starting from ground zero?
Well, firstly, I think I have to thank the company. Well, if it's not because of ERA, possibly I would not be where I am today. So I would want to say a big thank you to ERA. Now, the thing about falling is it's only temporary. In fact, you may discover your success only if you fall. So there are many of us who enjoy the sweetness of success and may not have fall. Possibly you have not achieved another level of success. So to me, failure is only temporary, and in fact it is a way, it is one of the hurdles that we have to cross before we reach greater heights.
What advice would you give to someone, Marcus, about working in the property industry in Singapore? They may not be sure, first up, if sales is for them, if property sales is for them. What would you say?
I think we are all selling one thing or another in a different manner. Doesn't mean that you need to sell a product. I think we are selling an idea every day.
Yeah.
So sales is done every day, so without you knowing it. So I think it is only natural for us to convince others about an idea, about a product. So it is not difficult if you seriously want to embark into the sales career.
It is not difficult?
It is not difficult. It is the only thing that's difficult is to overcome your fear, and it's also to overcome your self-disbelief. So if you can believe in yourself that you can achieve whatever you set your mind to do, then there's nothing that is too difficult for you. As well, it's in sales, it's every day you are doing that anyway.
Okay. Before we end, ERA has unveiled plans to launch the ERA Apex Centre, making this the first real estate agency in Singapore to own a building. What does this Apex Centre here mean for the agency and for Singapore?
Well, we are so excited that we bought this building that is next to the HDB hub. And, well, we used to be in that location. And before we moved out of the Toa Payoh, the hub area to Mountbatten Square, where we are right now. So in the next about 2 to 3 years' time, we will be moving the whole congregation, the whole company, back to the HDB hub area. So we are very excited for this move.
Just tremendous. And for the agents, this means, what does the Apex Centre mean for them?
Well, it means a better place for all of us to come together in the hub where all the property activities are, where our friends are, where our alliance and our business partner are.
Just tremendous. Well, thank you so much for being here and letting us into how you think. Marcus Chu is Chief Operating Officer of ERA Realty Network. If there's one thing you want to leave the property agents out there, or would-be property agents out there, thinking when it comes to developing themselves and their career, what do you say to them?
Dream big and do not be affected by temporary failure.
Excellent. Again, Marcus Chu, Chief Operating Officer of ERA Realty Network. This has been Influence. I'm Michelle Martin.
Taking you through your drive home. Primetime on Money FM 89.3.
Money FM 89.3.